Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to dive right into a really powerful strategy for completely transforming your intimate life. We're drawing from the work of Alina Chamberlain, and we are going to map out exactly how to shift that dynamic from a one-sided experience into a true, mutually satisfying partnership. So yeah, let's explore how you can become the architect of your own pleasure. So, does this question hit a little close to home? If you've ever felt like your pleasure is just an afterthought, or maybe not even a thought at all, you are definitely not alone. But here's the crucial thing to understand. This isn't just a frustration you have to put up with. No way. It's a dynamic that can and absolutely should be strategically re-engineered. So I want you to think of this as your personal manual. We're moving beyond just hoping and being passive. The goal here is for you to step into a leadership role to reclaim your pleasure by taking a mature, sovereign position. It's really all about becoming the architect of your own satisfaction. And we've got a really clear 5-part strategy to get you there. We're going to start by diagnosing the problem. Then we'll introduce some new rules, master the flow of affection, and a little bit of psychology. And finally, completely redefine the entire exchange. See, it's a clear path from problem to resolution. Okay, first things first, we have to understand the root of the issue. Before you can even think about solving the problem, you have to correctly diagnose the specific type of selfishness you're dealing with. Because, believe me, not all egoism is created equal. Now, this slide makes a really critical distinction. On one side, you've got mature egoism, and that's actually healthy. It's about self-respect, compromise, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But on the other side, you have childish egoism. I love this term, the sandbox mentality. It's where one person just takes all the toys for themselves and basically thinks, hey, if I'm fine, we're fine. Figuring out which one you're in, that's the crucial first step. So how do you fix it? Well, you have to introduce new rules. See, a lot of the time, your partner is wired for efficiency. Why would he change a system that, from his point of view, is working perfectly? If you've been silent, he probably just assumes the current script is a roaring success. It is time for a rewrite. So, here's your 2-step communication strategy. First, the imagine exercise. You invite him into a little thought experiment. Ask him to genuinely put himself in your shoes, to really feel what it's like when the roles are reversed. That taps into his empathy. Then, you follow up with benefit logic. This is where you appeal directly to his self-interest by explaining the, let's call it, return on investment of your pleasure. And this quote just gets right to the heart of that benefit logic. This isn't just about being fair. It's about results that directly benefit him. When he gets that your pleasure actually makes you calmer, more supportive, that it creates a better environment at home, well, suddenly it becomes a really smart investment for his own success and his own peace. Okay, this leads us perfectly into our next tactic, strategic affection. This is all about managing your energy. Think about it. If you give endless affection without getting it back, you're accidentally training him to see you as a kind of service provider, not an equal partner. It's time to take control of that flow. And the first action is so simple, but it is so powerful. Stop over-serving. This just means you consciously pull back that endless one-way stream of affection if it's not being reciprocated in a real, meaningful way. You are not an unlimited resource. And as you're stopping that, you're going to start this. You pivot toward mutual caresses. The new goal is to find positions and techniques where both of you are feeling good at the same time. This fundamentally reframes the whole act as a shared experience, right from the start to the finish. Okay, this technique is a total game changer. It's called a pattern interrupt. Basically, as he gets close to finishing, and if you're not there yet, you pause the stimulation. You literally stop and pivot the focus back to you. This is a direct, in-the-moment lesson that the finish line is a place you arrive at together. All right, so we've covered the physical tactics. Now let's get into the psychological game. This is about transforming intimacy from, simple friction into a shared mystery. It's about making the entire experience deeper and, honestly, way more engaging for both of you. So the key here is to make learning fun. Instead of criticism, which just shuts people down, you initiate a playful teacher-student game. Use something fun like chocolate or berries to create a literal map of what feels good on your body. Then frame it as a quest for him to explore. This totally turns your pleasure into his new favorite mission. Our brains are literally wired for feedback. So when he does something right, your reaction has to be vivid. Unmistakable, your sounds, your body's response, that becomes his guide. This creates a really powerful neurological pathway in his brain, directly connecting his specific actions with the feeling of victory. And men love to win. And what happens after he's successfully completed his mission? Well, you reward him with praise. A lot of it. It's called the gratitude ritual. You tell him he's the best, that no one else can make you feel that way. This satisfies his ego and, more importantly, makes him want to be that hero of the bedroom again and again. All right, let's bring all of this together now. By putting these strategies into practice, you are no longer a passive participant in your own life. You are establishing a whole new dynamic, a sovereign exchange between two powerful, self-respecting adults. This slide just illustrates the new contract perfectly. You freely give your affection, your supports, what we can call the energy of love. And in return, you rightfully expect and demand the energy of life. And that means his respect, his genuine care, and his active investment in your mutual satisfaction. It's a balanced, high-value partnership. And this, right here, is the ultimate truth he eventually comes to understand. Your pleasure isn't in competition with his. It's the very foundation of his. When you stop faking it and start leading, he learns that your ecstasy is actually the secret key to his own deepest happiness and connection. So, the final question. It's for you. This isn't just theory, okay? It's a playbook. So looking back at everything we've just covered, from the imagine exercise to that pattern interrupt, what is the one new rule you're going to introduce into your life, starting this week?
You can find the electronic version of book She Who Awakens by Alina Chamberlain at wishforlove.org.